video explores the economic implications of a potential political merger between the United States and Canada, from trade agreements like USMCA to shared energy and supply chains. We analyze the strong economic ties between the two countries and why political unification may bring more risks and rewards. Is this idea realistic or just political rhetoric? Find out in this comprehensive analysis. Welcome to Black Bloc Hong Kongers, your go-to channel for in-depth discussions on international politics and global crises. Stay tuned as we uncover the truths behind the headlines. Like, share, and subscribe to join our community of critical thinkers.
And I say from the standpoint of the United States, we're subsidizing Canada $200 and $250 billion a year. We have massive deficits. They've taken about 20% of our car business. I'd rather do it here. We could put tariffs on. We don't have tariffs on them yet, but that will happen. But they've taken about 20% of our car business. I'd rather have it done in Detroit or have it done in South Carolina or any other state that does cars, and we have a lot of them. We don't need Canada for that. We don't need Canada for lumber because we have big forests that we have, not utilized. In some cases, they're protected, which I can take that protection off. And you take down a tree and you grow a better tree. That's, pretty common. But we don't need anything. We don't need their fuel. We don't need their energy. We don't need their oil and gas. We don't need anything that they have. And I said to Trudeau, I said, why are we subsidizing you $200 and $250 billion a year? He said, I really don't know. And I said, well, I don't know either. I said, what would happen to Canada if we didn't? He said Canada would be obliterated if that happened.
From an economic perspective, further analysis reveals that the economic interactions between the United States and Canada are deeply interconnected and highly complementary. Based on trade agreements and existing frameworks of cooperation, political unification, however, could introduce greater economic risks and costs rather than enhancing benefits. The United States and Canada are among the largest bilateral trading partners in the world, a relationship safeguarded by the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, formerly the North American Free Trade Agreement NAFTA. The following key points highlight the complementary nature of their bilateral economies. Canada is the largest energy supplier to the US, exporting oil, natural gas, and electricity. Alberta's oil sands and Quebec's hydroelectric power are crucial for US energy stability. These resource exports operate efficiently through existing agreements and infrastructure, such as the Keystone 40 pipeline, without the need for political unification. The two nations share highly integrated supply chains, particularly in industries like automotive, aerospace, and agricultural machinery. For example, US automobile manufacturing relies on Canadian-produced components and vice versa. This mutual dependence makes the current trade framework the optimal solution rather than political integration. Canada's vast farmlands and the US's advanced agricultural technology from a stable food supply chain. Canada exports significant quantities of wheat, meat, and dairy products, while the US provides agricultural machinery and technological support. This mutually beneficial model does not require further consolidation to thrive. Despite the high degree of economic complementarity, political unification could pose several economic challenges. Canada has a more comprehensive welfare system, offering universal healthcare and generous social benefits. If the US were to absorb Canada, these high-cost welfare programs could become a financial burden on the US federal government. For example, Canadian federal healthcare spending accounts for approximately 10% of its GDP, whereas the US healthcare system primarily relies on private insurance. This disparity would create substantial fiscal pressure. Canada uses the Canadian dollar CAD, while the US uses the US dollar USD. In the event of unification, the CAD would likely be replaced by the USD. However, The CAD's value often fluctuates with natural resource prices, creating different patterns of volatility compared to the USD. This lack of alignment in monetary policy could lead to economic instability. Although the two countries have complementary economies, certain industries such as manufacturing and agriculture may face intensified competition. American workers could experience greater employment pressure due to the inclusion of Canadian workers, while Canada might see its local small and medium-sized enterprises oppressed by the dominance of American corporations. Even if a merger were successful, the long-term costs from an economic perspective could far outweigh the benefits. The infrastructure in northern Canada is relatively underdeveloped. If a merger were to occur, the US would need to invest heavily in these regions, including the construction of transportation, communication, and energy facilities. However, the economic returns from these areas could be extremely limited. The legal systems of Canada and the US differ significantly in areas such as intellectual property, labor laws, and environmental regulations. If the two countries were to merge, these differences could lead to frequent trade disputes and economic frictions, increasing operational costs. The existing framework for cooperation between Canada and the US already maximizes the advantages of their economic complementarities, as evidenced by the following factors, which suggest that political unification is unnecessary. The US accounts for over 75% of Canadian exports, while Canada is one of the largest import markets for the US. This mutual dependency has promoted economic stability and has not been weakened by the existence of national borders. Maintaining independence allows both countries to tailor their economic policies to their domestic needs. For instance, Canada can adjust its export policies based on its resource characteristics, while the US focuses on technological innovation and its global leadership in the financial sector. From an economic perspective, the two countries have already maximized their economic benefits through existing trade agreements and cooperative frameworks. Political unification would not significantly enhance economic efficiency, but would instead bring a series of structural challenges and cost risks. This notion seems more like political rhetoric than a viable choice based on economic realities. A comprehensive analysis from political, economic, and military perspectives reveals that the notion of the United States annexing Canada is entirely lacking in realistic foundation. Such claims are more likely strategic rhetoric by political figures aimed at achieving specific political objectives, rather than representing genuine policy intentions. In the Trump's Make America Great Again Dream series, topics ranging from Greenland and the Panama Canal to the annexation of Canada are analyzed through political, military, and economic lenses. The conclusion is clear. Trump's true ambitions likely lie in gaining control over Greenland and the Panama Canal. However, achieving these goals would undoubtedly face significant challenges. As Trump prepares to officially assume the presidency of the United States, we shall wait and see how the story unfolds. Thank you for watching BlackBlock Hong Kong's Global Insight Network. Like, share, and subscribe for in-depth analyses on international politics and critical issues. Explore these videos next and join the conversation for a more insightful world.